the idea of an achievement gap, the socioeconomic gap, or the idea that we are, as Americans, our students are testing way lower than most other nations out there, is the idea that we are falling behind in education in America, right? But then I would also counter that in Asia, you have people saying we have a creativity gap. How is it that Americans are, all these innovative ideas, concepts, creativity, everything is coming out of the US, right? And they are here trying to steal that, right? And they don't realize that it's because of the foundation of that our forefathers gave us that allows us to have this, right? So it's like a lack of foresight to say that, okay, let's take over America, let's take over the West, and let's just force people to become, like scientists. No, meritocracy works. That's why, unfortunately, capitalism is the best shot we have. So the achievement gap, I would say, is to close the achievement gap. Well, closing I would argue closing the creativity gap is much harder to do. And that's something that Americans are very, very good at. And that's why I believe, and actually in many ways, the system of education, in a way, you could actually even argue that because it doesn't work well in America, that's actually what's allowing us to be super creative. Because I would argue that the system of education that we have is actually the same around the world. That's why we have the same hierarchy. Maths and sciences are always on top. You have the arts always on the bottom. And even within the arts, you have painting, on sculpture on the top, and you have dance on the bottom. Who decided that structure, and why does everyone around the world agree to that structure, right? So when I was studying about education, it was it was a process of not learning, but unlearning a lot of my presuppositions about how the education system works. And that's why I decided to create this, a website called teach2.com, which is in essence sort of an Airbnb of sorts for teachers and educators.